last time on Thrill of the Race.
It's lights out and a good start from Kyle Ryde.
When Kyle Ryde hit the front, it was alarm bells for everybody.
Oh, Glenn Irwin!
Whoa, that's cheeky.
Kyle Ryde, splendid. He wins it from Lee Jackson.
Tommy got himself to the front of that sprint race through really clever riding.
And he extends his lead. Bridewell back on the top step. Kyle Ryde does the double at Cadwell and wins the Monster Energy Cadwell 90 trophy.
When all the eyes are on the other side of his garage, he's gone under the radar and he's become the #1 contender to Tommy Bridewell for the championship.
Welcome to round 9 of the 2024 Bennetts British Superbike Championship, and it's the start of the showdown. Yep, that infamous word that always sparks up a pub debate. Some love it, some hate it. It's a new showdown, well, newish. We changed it last year, but the points values have increased from 18 points to 25 points for a win. Oulton Park didn't disappoint in terms of giving good luck and bad luck. Tommy Bridewell came into the race yesterday, bit of a comfortable lead in the championship, and it didn't last any longer than the first lap. He didn't make it beyond the first lap. We saw Josh Brooks. Where have you been all year, Josh? Josh was back, front row of the grid, running up the front, some great overtaking manoeuvres like the Josh we know, and Glenn Irwin, who's managed to rescue his season after a pretty bumpy mid-season with crashes at Brands Hatch and Thruxton. Adding to the pressure is the 2025 silly season, and it's in full swing. Riders coming, riders going, riders moving teams. All is going to start to be played out. People are not just racing for the 2024 championship, they're racing for a 2025 job. So, Oulton Park, the circuit that rarely fails to deliver, is poised for another dramatic day.
As we arrived at Oulton Park for the showdown, where everything ramps up, you know what was nice to see about coming into Oulton Park was the momentum that Hawk Honda, the Mastermac Hawk Hondas took forward from Cadwell Park.
And it's got to the point now where you're not surprised if you see Charlie top in a session. This Bennetts BSB Championship, you need experience. And, you know, he's now been doing it for a couple of years. He's getting that experience. He's got the speed. He's got the confidence. So it's really good to see him topping the timesheets. And I fully expect him to come away with some sort of silverware here this weekend.
But other things happen in free practice that you kind of keep your eye on. You're watching the contenders. You want to see what they're doing. And Oulton Park, remember, we've been here already at the start of the year, so your eye is naturally drawn towards Glenn Irwin on that HIGGS PBM Ducati because he picked up 3 out of 3 the last time here. Free practice is always good. It's great to watch. It's nice to get an interview with the guys after the sessions. I got Tommy Bridewell in pit lane, and he actually did tell me they were struggling just that little bit. There was something, tiny something missing from the Honda this weekend. And we saw that because he was on the bubble of almost having to go through Q1. Tommy was 12th fastest on combined times.
Bit of a mixed bag really for me. We had some new parts for the bike that we need a bit more time with, but it was really positive, but we just didn't have the time to stick with it. So we had to revert back for the Saturday.
I mean, you're talking fractions of whatever it is he was missing, because clearly he found that overnight and he put that into practice in Q2 where he was pretty inspirationally fast. And when you watched him, it was mind-blowing what he was doing. So yeah, it was free practice, typical coming in here for the showdown. It's almost like you're expecting some miracles to happen for some riders. Some of it did happen for Mastermac, but the rest of it was pretty standard as you would expect. Apart from Josh Brooks. Brooksy was on it, wasn't he? I've said this from the start of the year. Brooksy's one of the fastest riders in this paddock. Give him the tools for the job and he will deliver. Look what he's done today. He's got the bike underneath him. He's got the team around him as well, which he's had all year. But if you can give him that week in, week out, Brooks is a weapon.
It's a 15-minute session coming up here to decide who's on pole position. Now, we might sound like a broken record saying this if you've tuned in all year, but qualifying very important in Bennetts BSB. Weekends have been ruined at this point.
Qualifying was great. Obviously, 4 riders with lap times that were almost identical.
Then he goes pole for now, a 33.880 for Glenn. Over the line for the reigning champion, and he goes pole with a 33.770.
Glenn Irwin, bit of a failure on that bike. We saw the bike on fire at the bottom of Knickerbrook. Flames lashing up the side of it, an oil cooler failure for that.
Something's leaked out and got in the exhaust.
Luckily for Glenn, he's already got his lap in, so he's going to be on the front row as it stands.
I mean, how good is it to see Josh Brooks back? He's been absent since, I think, the start of last year when he was last on the podium here at Oulton. And they've had a rotten year, FHO Racing. You know, they've not had anything really to sing about. Hickman struggled to get in the top 10.
This is a good lap from Brooks then. It's 3 on the trot now. This might just threaten that front row and maybe even better for Brooks. Over the line we go for Josh and his pole, a 33.755.
You should never be surprised to see Josh back at the sharp end. He's a 2-time champion.
And the checkered flag is out then in qualifying, and Josh Brooks looks like being the surprise rider on pole, and we only say that because of the season he's had, not based on his reputation as a whole, although Kyle Ryde has done it last minute.com.
I mean, Kyle left it really late to bag pole, which was a great final sector. I don't know what he found in that final sector.
Did a good lap, got a banker one. That was going to secure me 4th, I think, and a couple of minutes to go I gave it another quick second wind to see if I could pull anything else out of the bag, and managed to find another 10th, which put me on pole.
And Kyle Ryde, when it mattered, who was looking like he was starting the race from the second row, has delivered a pole position lap just as the checkered flag comes out.
By starting off the front row is critical to where we can, how we can fight in the race. So it's a really good job.
What I love about Oulton Park is we visit this circuit twice a year, but it's like coming to 2 completely different circuits. When we come here at the start of the year, it's like, welcome to leafy Cheshire. Have a lovely stay. And we get here in September with the championship on the line, and it's welcome to the jungle. This place does things at the end of championships where there's fireworks, and we had it on the first lap.
Round 9 of Bennetts BSB, and it's business time. Oulton Park. There are just 9 races to go in this 2024 championship. After 23, 19 points separate Tommy Bridewell and Kyle Ryde. If they keep doing what they've been doing so far this year, it will be just the 2 of them tangoing into the final round. Kyle Ryde on pole, ahead of Josh Brooks and the championship leader and reigning champion Tommy Bridewell. It's eyes on the lights, and away we go. Everyone got away pretty well there from the front row. It looks like it's a short stretch to turn 1 here, Old Hall corner, but Brooks has got the inside line and will lead ahead of Kyle Ryde, but Ryde's got some good drive coming out of turn 1. Bridewell got through okay. He's in 3rd. Glenn Irwin didn't get away too badly either. He's made up a place as well.
Genuinely coming into this weekend, I thought, I really think this is just going to be a Tommy and Kyle thing to the end. Get some podiums and it'll go to the last round, and we're going to kind of lose contenders as we go along. And then the demons of Oulton Park have said, nah. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to throw some spice all over that.
The number 25 leads down into his loss.
Yeah, he's got a good chance.
Oh, Bridewell's gone down! Can you believe it? The championship leader has gone down on the opening lap. He rarely fluffs his lines.
I was expecting a bit too much. Yeah, just a strange crash, you know, really strange crash. No, not really, still not 100% sure on the actual definite answer. It was so peculiar that, yeah, it was a tough one.
An uncharacteristic error from Tommy. He doesn't even know how it happened. He goes down, and all of a sudden you've got Kyle doing things that he's not done before.
Glenn Irwin would have seen what just happened there to Tommy Bridewell. There's an opportunity here to pick up 25 points on the championship leader.
Yes, there is. I'd like to see Kyle Ryde's pit board, actually, just see what the OMG Griller boys are going to tell him.
Yeah, I mean, surely they've got to tell him as Glenn Irwin then dives up the inside of Kyle Ryde into Lodge Corner. That was neatly done as well. Remember, he did the treble here at the start of the year, did Glenn?
This one was funny. You know, we had some areas the bike was strong, but also a hell of a lot of areas where we were really, really weak. It was making the bike extremely physical to ride, so I had kind of one choice, and it was to choose to ride like a slow race.
Here comes Kyle.
Kyle there up the inside into turn 1. It's still Josh Brooks who leads, by the way.
Yeah,
Josh Brooks, who we've not mentioned because of all the dramas. Irwin up the inside of Kyle Ryde. That's fast through there.
The race was, I wouldn't say scrappy, but it was not what I expected. I thought I was going to be able to get to the front and set a pace, but Josh and Glenn was real good on new tyres, and I really struggled to not keep up, but to pass them and pull away.
Brooks, who leads from Glenn Irwin, who's now making his move on the BMW.
Oh, that's a close one.
It's very close.
That is a close one. Oh,
he sits the pair of them up.
Yeah, that was a risk.
It had just a little bit of everything in that. it had Brooksy showing the pace that he showed in free practice through qualifying and in that race.
Glenn Irwin, though, knows he has to win. He has to take some points in the championship. He has to take risks, and he has done, and he leads. Over the line we go once more. It's Irwin from Brooks now, and Kyle Ryde in third.
Yeah, remember, it's more points he'll pick up if he wins this, because it's 25 for the win, not 18.
Notoriously, Kyle likes to get out front. He likes to lead. He likes to run his own lines.
Glenn Irwin it is that leads down to his lops as Kyle Ryde now looks to move up into second ahead of Josh Brooks. Wow, that was a lovely move from Kyle.
Unbelievable. I mean, what a ride from Kyle.
Brooks returns the favour down into Lodge Corner. This is as strong as we've seen Josh Brooks all year so far.
Yes, it is.
Over the line we go once more. Glenn Irwin at the moment in control of this. Without a podium in 9 races, Glenn Irwin. He's been on the podium 6 times this year. All of them victories.
First 2 laps just didn't quite happen for me. I don't know if I just was not really awake or what, but it just was a bit steady in the first corner. I didn't quite click on the first lap or the second lap, so I dropped down to like 9th, 10th. Obviously Tommy crashed, got back into the river and passed a couple of people, and then Charlie obviously went down.
So Glenn, Charlie
has been down. Just that's a bit too much to the front end.
So a couple of positions jumped really without doing anything, but got into the rhythm, got up to 4th. The gap to the guys in front was probably like 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. I was like, I've got a bit of work on here to get on the podium.
Lee Jackson is now head of that second group that have drifted away. Can he inch closer now to Irwin, Brooks and Ryde at the front?
Kyle Ryde had a bit of an issue. Not 100% sure what happened to Kyle, but he lost about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds.
Through Britons we go. It's still Irwin. Oh, there's a problem for Kyle Ryde!
Oh, that's a disaster.
Oh, what's happened there?
Missed a gear, jumped out of gear.
Something's just... What's he just thrown out there?
That was a visor. He's taking a tear-off off.
What?
That was definitely a tear-off, which makes me think that it isn't a massive problem that happened, because you wouldn't do that if you were panicking about something else.
I was comfortable behind them both trying to save tyre, and I had a bit of an issue with my dash that I had to pull off and throw off the side of the track. So I lost 1.5 seconds.
And that freed up Glenn and Josh. But then Kyle, God.
Still Irwin and Brooks separated really by nothing, and another 34.2 from Kyle Ryde in third.
He's fast, isn't he? Showdown time, contract time, call it what you want. Kyle, I said in the commentary, now's the time we see what Kyle Ryde's got underneath him.
Over the line we go though, for 15 of 18, and it's Josh Brooks now trying to make his move. He thought about it. Yeah, look at Ryde again. A 33.9, the only rider in the sub-34s now.
It was getting hot and heavy at the end of the race. You know, Lee Bob was riding incredibly, and I knew I didn't have the pace that any of the guys had.
I was kind of done. I was happy with third, but I managed to catch him up with 2 laps to go, and while I was there I thought I might as well throw a couple of moves and see what happens.
So we caught up to the leading 2 within maybe 2 laps. It was quite quick, you know. I know me and Kyle had good pace, and I saw going into the last corner Josh passed Glenn really late, and I actually hadn't been really paying attention. I'd just been focusing going forward.
He made a very uncharacteristic Josh Brooks manoeuvre at the last corner. He laid it all on the line. It was out of shape, it was on one wheel, he ran in deep.
I was like, is this the last lap? Like, it was all like a bit hectic. So I obviously got the run out of the last corner, had a massive slide, but it kind of worked in my favour because as it slid, it G'd out.
The inside,
he's going for it. Brooks is here. He's going up the inside, but surely he won't get it stopped. He does somehow. Oh, and they're all bunching up together. They're side by side. Owen goes through. So does Kyle Ryde. And look now at Lee Bob Jackson as well. That did not work out for Josh Brooks.
And there's Brooksy still showing that he's got that fight in him.
Got alongside Josh into turn 1, and yeah, from there it was. I realised there was like 2 more laps to go, so a bit of a settle down moment, and I was like, oh, let's just keep digging and see where we end up.
No, that's a price you pay.
Oh, and now Ryde up the inside of Irwin, but Irwin on the cutback. And it'll be a drag race down to Cascade that Irwin will win. Over the hilltop now and down into his lops, and Kyle Ryde is going for it up the inside of Glenn Irwin. They're both a bit heavy down into his lops, but it works out.
Yep, a little bit of a block pass, didn't hold anybody up too much, but definitely wide into the first part of his lop chicane there.
And after that, Kyle Ryde, after that the game was his. That's all you can say. He looked great on that bike, and to come away with another victory, carrying that momentum forward from Bridewell Park. And that's what this part of the year is all about as well. It's not just having a flash in the pan, great bit of speed here and there. This is about momentum that's been building for these guys.
Just 1 corner to go. Kyle doesn't even need to go defensive. The checkered flag is out at the end of race 1 here at Oulton Park. Kyle Ryde is your new championship leader. He wins here at Oulton Park. His best ever victory in this class.
Kyle had like a mishap with something, which allowed me to get on the back of Kyle, and both of us just worked together really. I passed him once, but not really wanted to make a battle of it. It was a case of he was a bit slower at the finish line, so I made that move, and then yeah, it just got back into rhythm with Kyle, and it brought us back to the front two, and the last couple of laps was hectic and a great battle to the end.
But I also knew to never ever give up, to channel my resilience, and you know that we did. We boxed with experience and clever, and they made their moves. We were always able to make the switch back. So I think the second in the end was a really, really great result, given the pressure that was applied in the last few laps.
Things will change tomorrow. I've just got to get some solid points again. If the opportunity like that comes again, I'll throw the towel in and try and get another win. But yeah, I'm in a great position, even better than what I was yesterday or the weekend before. So just got to make the most of it now. Not long left. Just put all into it, and hopefully Sunday at Brands Hatch I can be in this position I am now.
Winner, Kyle Ryde!
Ollie, I knew you wouldn't go away. I was like, oh, please don't come at me at last corner. And I didn't even go that defensive.
Yeah.
I think I got a slightly better run out of Druids, yeah.
Good out of Druids.
What was your best?
33.9.
Yeah,
But it was 5 laps to go.
Yeah.
My dash come off.
Yeah, what
Thing.
happened that you lost time?
My dash, the protector come off,
Yeah,
and it was rattling round, and I thought I didn't want it to get caught and cause a DNF.
yeah.
And I couldn't just chuck it out in case it landed on someone behind me.
I seen
pulled over
plus
for it.
1.3, and I knew something had happened because I thought me and Josh aren't. I was like, there's no way me and Josh were starting to pull away.
It was 4 off, and my pit board said 1.3. Well, it couldn't have been you.
Yeah, it was.
Because we were pulling away, but you had so much speed at the end. I thought you were maybe stuck.
No, I blocked past Haslam into a second chicane, and it cost me quite a bit of time.
Right, yeah. Because
then
I thought when it said Jackson, I thought he's going to have speed.
Yeah.
But the pit board went up.
Mate, you always come at the end as well, like your whole career, don't you?
Yeah.
Like,
like in the
you must be
start.
like the world's fittest rider or something. Isn't it? Like, it's not far away here, but there's no way I can't. Like, I lose to you through here.
Yeah. I mean, when I passed you, I thought as long as I get into Island in front, I should pull a bit through the first chicane. Good thing about the Yamaha is no matter how the tyre is, the shock stays in the same place.
Yeah.
But yours, if you lose a bit of grip with the rear, the shock will probably come up, you see.
Aye. I've seen them in the inlet, I think they're all going nuts. There's like a big Kyle Ryde flag on it. When I flick left here, big chicane, it always fits.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be there.
Yeah.
That lap Brooksy died on you, I had the biggest moment at the bottom of there, 'cause I thought I'd have just picked the gas up and just went and let it go.
Brooksy was riding good.
Yeah.
He'd have been fuming not to.
He's flying it. Was he far away at the end, or did
I was
probably
just
dropped them?
focused and prefer forward. I was like,
Were you focusing on trying to get me?
I didn't even look at the pit board last night.
Did you look anywhere else on the last lap other than turn 1?
I was going to have a look into the second chicane, but you jump out the first one too good.
Aye.
To me.
You had a big tank slapper, that's the only reason why I passed you.
Yeah, that's just how like done an like a MotoGP pump thing. It done a rigid thing, didn't it?
I committed at the top of the hill to pass you, but
Yeah.
you thought I've lost time, so I'm going to brake late. When you broke, I thought I'm going straight on here.
I don't even think I braked late, did it?
Did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my foot was off. I was up the inside. Panicked.
To be fair, actually, yeah, you went completely by me, so you probably only had to go like beside me.
So, because I committed, and then you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That was like me with passing.
Mate, it's a good move. The passage you made,
I
it's
passed
a
him
good
into the second
move.
chicane,
Yeah,
but
it's
I knew
hard
it was
into
late,
there.
but I was like, it just cost us time, but I knew I had to get past it at the time.
Sprint race tomorrow, guys. 12 laps flat out.
I know.
Expect the unexpected with BSB always. And then I'll tell you what, when we wake up on Sunday, let's have some rain as well, shall we? But who knows? I mean, honestly, it's impossible to predict at the best of times, but anything, literally anything could happen. You've got to remember the last time we had a bit of a splash around in the rain, Storm Stacey and Lewis Rollo were fighting for the wins.
It's a wet circuit and a 10-lap dash coming your way with 8 races left in Bennetts BSB for 2024. Kyle Ryde is on pole position from Lee Bob Jackson, who was 3rd here yesterday. Josh Brooks just off the podium. Kyle Ryde, number 77, leads the championship and starts from pole position. It's lights out for race 2 here. They all get away from the line pretty well. Glenn Irwin immediately tried to challenge. Leon Haslam trying to get himself in there as well, but it will be Kyle Ryde that leads into turn 1 as they tiptoe around Old Hall corner and now head downhill. A couple of riders out on the curbs there. You want to stay clear of them.
That second race, I've never seen Glenn look so determined on the Ducati.
Through Island Bend then we go. Glenn Irwin it is that has the advantage from Leon Haslam and Christian Idden.
It's no secret that the bike has been tough to ride in the rain, and I have been not so good in the rain the past few years. Conditions where I've had dominant victories in my younger days, and you know, when I woke up, when I was meditating last night, I just asked for an opportunity.
So far so good for Glenn Irwin. So he looks to try and put a few more bike lengths in between him and the rest of the pack.
He digs so deep, Glenn Irwin, and he's always had a never give up attitude, and he showed that in abundance this weekend.
There is Kyle Ryde now coming under attack from Danny Kent.
First couple of laps I felt really good on the bike. I felt good in warm-up. Just the first couple of laps I was getting beaten up, and I was just talking to myself, like, come on, Danny.
The race was super tricky with what happened following Christian's crash.
Got some spin there, and he's gone down as Christian Idden. Avoiding action being taken there by Glenn Irwin as he stayed up. He just about has.
You know, obviously my first thought was just don't drive into Christian, and then you kind of think of the championship as soon as you rejoin the track.
Tommy Bridewell would have seen that. His eyes might have lit up a little because he's now up into third, so that changes everything.
I don't really know which way to look in Bennetts BSB anymore, to be honest. It's just getting madder by the round.
Look at Lewis Rollo already trying to pull a move out on Tommy Bridewell for second place. He's got the inside line. It might be a bit too late there, that move.
But Glenn has gone under Levi Jackson.
Lovely.
I can't keep up with what's going on. I mean, the pendulum just keeps on swinging in this championship.
Here comes Rollo.
From Danny Kent. Rollo up the inside again.
Cut that.
They're side by side now.
This time.
It's a close one. They're almost 3 abreast as they drop downhill. Bridewell takes that tight line through Cascades. Danny Kent trying to challenge Glenn Irwin as well.
And I actually felt really good. There was just a few areas where I was losing to Glenn on the exits, which made it harder for me to pass on the brakes.
Just watch out here for Lewis Rollo. He'll line up a move, but look at Glenn Irwin and the speed he's got. It's 2 and 1 for Glenn Irwin. Rollo's almost on the grass around Island Bend. Somehow Glenn Irwin comes out on top there and moves himself up into second.
He was pulling shapes that thing was, it didn't look fun to ride, but he was pulling shapes and making manoeuvres, and effectively, if it was a boxing match, which he relates it to, he was going out there with some big haymakers.
About to start lap 8 of 10. Haslam at the moment is doing enough.
In the rain midway through this year, we couldn't ride it at all, so we made some good steps. Obviously, we was leading the race.
Look at all of these riders that have gone through on Kyle Ryde now.
Yeah, that's what I said. It did look like it was holding him up.
Overnight, Kyle Ryde's brilliant win in the dry, and then it starts raining and he drops back.
A drop of 11 places, and there's still a few more to come behind Vickers as well. We're about to start the final lap of race 2 here at Oulton Park.
Opportunity came with the weather, and I then had to have no limiting beliefs and just be like, okay, you wanted an opportunity, you got an opportunity, but you're going to have to do something that you haven't done in a while, and that's be very fast in the wet.
Out front, Leon Haslam starts the final lap, but Glenn Irwin has got a bit closer. What a win this would be for Leon Haslam, and particularly for Irwin in terms of the championship.
Yeah, fastest lap of the race. He's definitely having a push. He's Glenn Irwin, down a 44 flat now. That's half a second quicker than Haslam. Here he comes.
Look at the speed.
I know.
It was hard to know where to push. I kept locking the brakes on, locking the front on the brakes. So, yeah, obviously when I knew Glenn was going to come there, you know, that was one of the places I felt a little bit weak at the chicane.
Over the hilltop we go. Haslam at the moment has the advantage, but here comes the HIGGS PBM Ducati up the inside for Glenn Irwin. Can he get the bike stopped? Haslam doesn't want to give it up and run straight through at his ease.
And as he squeezed me to the white line, I've looked at the data. I didn't squeeze any more brake, but I locked the front. So obviously we had to take to the slip road. Yeah, it's one of them. I kind of anticipated the move, but we didn't have any more left on that front tyre grip.
Leon, actually, you could see him just lock the front that tiny little bit on the braking zone.
I felt really sorry for Leon Haslam, I've got to say, because obviously he's looking for his first win since 2018.
Just one corner left for the HIGGS PBM Ducati. Treble winner earlier on in this season. And he is back in business in this championship. Glenn Irwin wins race 2 at Oulton Park ahead of Danny Kent and Leon Haslam.
Gutted we didn't get the win, obviously. I know that we are capable of winning. But for me, it was more the progress we've made with the bike. Obviously, the body's feeling a little bit better week by week as well. So we've got obviously another go at it this afternoon. We've got a couple more rounds to try and get that win, but more looking forward to the seasons ahead.
Strongly believe going into every weekend now that we can fight for wins and podiums. You know, I feel like I've learned a lot myself this year, and you know, I'm with a team that can provide me a bike to go out there and win races and fight for podiums. And you know, I'm just pleased to be able to repay all the team's hard work with another second place here at Oulton.
It happened, you know, one of them ones that just maybe one of the best rides of my career. I think dry wins are always more special, but that was I never gave up winning. You know, I was sit here 31 points behind the championship. The target was to leave here 30 something behind. We're 31 with 1 to go, so I'm dreaming of it being 20 something.
Well, the end result was something that we might have expected. Glenn has been on a roll every time he's been at Oulton Park. Last time we were here, he got 3 out of 3.
Good to see Danny back on the podium as well. But Glenn's back in it. You know, that's the fact as we go into like the last couple of rounds, is Glenn has forced his way back into the championship equation. We know he's strong at Donington. We know he's strong at Brands as well. So hats off to Glenn, because before this weekend, it was 9 races without a podium. And he's gone, don't forget about me.
But one of the other interesting things was, where were the Gorilla OMG Yamahas? They just didn't show up for race number 2. So clearly a bit of work was needed in the garage before they hit the track for race number 3.
It's still a wet circuit, but it's drying. There's 7 races to go, and it's nervy times in Bennetts BSB as we prepare for the final race of the weekend here at Oulton Park. But as we look at the grid here, with Glenn Irwin on pole, Danny Kent second, and Andy Irwin third, there have been thrills and spills, as there often is at Oulton at this time of year. It's time to go racing here in Bennetts BSB at a damp Oulton Park. Lights out and away we go. Good start there from Danny Kent. He's going to have that inside line, but coming through is Ryan Vickers. Good start there from number 7 on the OMG Gorilla Yamaha. He takes the lead ahead of Glenn Irwin. High side there for Billy McConnell. Lewis Rollo's gone onto the grass as well.
Race 3. I don't know why does this circuit keep on doing this to us? Honestly.
You can see there Storm Stacey. It is that has managed to get himself up into second place, but over the line, 1.4 seconds up is Ryan Vickers ahead of Storm Stacey, Haslam, and Haslam's now going up the inside of Glenn Irwin.
As a commentator, that was a very hard race to cover, because you're looking at the screens and it's changing all the time. There's people appearing out of nowhere.
And as Brooks now challenges Tommy Bridewell. He was upset not to make it onto the podium yesterday, the Aussie, but he's managed to get himself now firmly in contention.
And the difference and disparity of lap times were mammoth. Like 7 or 8 second difference between some riders. You don't really know where to look.
Oh, someone just gone down. Yeah, there was a noise there. There was an inevitable noise down into Lodge Corner. Has someone gone down? It surely sounded like someone had. Someone's gone straight through. It's Ryan Vickers, the race leader, who's gone down.
You know, Storm was obviously out there. Josh was then reeling him in. Ryan's crashed from the lead. He had a big lead at the start as well. He crashes out. Is that now championship over? Storm gets through.
Anything could happen here. Anything. And Brooks has gone down. Number 25, he's crashed out at second place. Awful conditions. That's Lewis Rollo. Big crash for him at his ease.
Yeah, that's...
that's Fraser Rogers who's gone down on the tag Honda.
Get your legs up, lad.
14, 15 seconds ahead, and lightning strikes twice for Storm.
Red flag out here in this one.
A good call for misdirection there. Stuart Higgs couldn't put marshals out there on the track with a live track situation and try and clear that much debris, so they had to red flag it. But we'd only just started the 7th lap of the race, so we weren't even anywhere near 2/3 distance.
Why does this happen to me? Why do I get a red flag again? I seem to get a big lead, 14-second lead, and then I get a red flag. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought, It's all over again. And to be honest, I was getting my head down that much. I hadn't even looked at my pit board. I didn't know how many laps we'd done.
You know, the same thing what happened at Snetterton. The red flags come out and he's got to do it all over again.
But I learnt from my lesson at Snetterton and I didn't cheer once. I didn't get excited. I just kept my cool. I thought, people are clapping, but I don't know if I've won this thing, so I'm just keeping my head cool. And then I come back in, everyone's telling me calm down. I'm like, no, I've learnt my lesson, don't worry.
That's just summer of madness, isn't it? You know, another 5-lap dash at the end of it.
We're about to go racing here. 5 laps at Oulton Park in the wet with Stacey on pole. It's lights out. Good start from Stacey as well, and likewise from Kyle Ryde on the second row, but he's on the outside line. On the approach into turn 1, it's Stacey that takes the lead from Tommy Bridewell. A couple of riders just getting set up a bit there. Kyle Ryde almost got himself in a mess.
Storm Stacey got away, and I know how good he is in them conditions, and I thought, do you know what, if I can stick with him and go along with him, he's got nothing to lose. So if I can kind of have him as my guinea pig, then at least then I know if he goes down, I need to back off a bit.
As things stand, Bridewell would take an 11-point lead over Ryde into Donington. But here comes Kyle now. He's got good drive out of Britons. He pulls up alongside Tommy Bridewell and he goes through. Can he get the bike stopped?
Can he stop it?
Just about, yes.
No,
nice move.
No, didn't even run wide.
I understood how much grip there was on the wet stuff compared to earlier when I struggled finishing 13th. So yeah, obviously it was a 5-lap dash, so it didn't take very long, but I chose the right tyre.
Look at the speed that Kyle Ryde has got. He's now going to challenge Storm Stacey, surely into Old Hall Corner. Kyle Ryde leads. Up ahead at Storm Stacey.
That was a lovely move, set up 2 corners before. He was thinking about that coming out of Lodge.
And I didn't have anything for Kyle. I really didn't have anything for Kyle. He seemed to have a lot more grip than me. When Tommy come past, I thought, I can at least not let Tommy beat me.
Bridewell's going to make his move on Storm Stacey, just as Kyle Ryde did a moment ago. Through, neatly done, into turn 1.
Underneath, and then just lift your man up slightly, nice and gently. You then take the drier part of the track and you're away.
But Kyle Ryde is the rider of the weekend because the manner in which he won yesterday was a different Kyle. And today, let's not forget, he was 19th on the grid when that race initially started in conditions that he's not normally that strong in. And the salvage job was outrageous to get himself then 4th for the restart, 5-lap dash. And he won the race by over 5 seconds in 5 laps.
We've always known he's got the talent to do this, but this is a different Kyle Ryde. He wants this championship.
Take your hat off, Kyle Ryde. He wins the 5-lap dash in the wet here at Oulton Park, and the championship's on.
I think there was 5 seconds behind me to Leon or someone else. 3rd place was good enough today for me.
This probably would be one of our harder weekends, so to come away with what we have, I'm taking the positives out of it.
Don't want to big myself up too much. I like to under-promise and overachieve, as Whittam would say, and yeah, just want to keep the ball rolling. I've slowly caught my way up to the championship, being 2nd, only a couple of points in it now. Yeah, not much what to say, really. Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Donington Park, if you look back at I'd say one of the races of the decades that we had when we were last there, but of course that was pretty good weather at the time.
Do you want to have a flashback to that? Could you remember that? I'm trying to forget that from my memory.
Very tough to call. You know, there's 3 guys at the moment, I think, for the championship. Christian Idden would need to have an unbelievable Donington and Brands now to have any say in it. So I really feel like it is just between Tommy, Kyle and Glenn, and they have all got brilliant records at Donington Park and at Brands Hatch.
It's going to be good close racing. It's going to be hard, fast racing. It's only going to get better from here.
I mean, this is like a mouth-watering prospect going into the last 6 races. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much more of this I can take.
and let's begin.